Praise the Lord. That means it lasted only lasted for about what, 10 minutes? Okay, now you can let me know. I believe we're back on live. We should be back live now, and I'm going to welcome those back to our live video. See, we're having problems playing this video. We're having trouble. So therefore, with that said, can you see? Do we have a feed on the video?
Yes.
Yeah, you have the internet back.
Session live.
Okay.
Yes.
And we are welcoming those back who joined us earlier, and we were cut off. There is a terrible thunderstorm that is in our area right now, here in Brownsville, a Miami suburb of Florida. And we know who's in control of the thunderstorm. We also know that that's a celestial message that he's bringing to us tonight. Our Ab, the Elohim of the Hebrews. So welcome back, and if you look over my left shoulder to the right of the screen, as I always introduce my Ab in photo image, one of several that he took with a photo camera that he had a photographer to take, so that we can be remembered, be reminded of what that terrestrial body looked like as he dwelt here on this planet with us in the flesh for 72 years, from 1935 to 2007. That is my Yod-Heh Wafe. That is his name.
Yes, sir.
Yod-Heh Wafe. That is not Yahweh ben Yahweh. Yahweh ben Yahweh is two people. I repeat, Yahweh ben Yahweh in English is two people. That's the Father and his Son. I'm going to go over that tonight. Reveal who they are in Revelation. And that's why when he wrote his books, he put Yod-Heh Wafe, Beth Nun Sofet Yod-Heh Wafe, Yahweh ben Yahweh, God, the Son of God. That's two people. That's both. God and his Son, the Son of God.
Right.
Yahweh ben Yahweh, that's what that means. Yahweh ben Yahweh is not a name. God, the Son of God. Just thought we'd make that clear again tonight. Again tonight. They need to know. Anyway, just in case we were cut off during my celestial greeting to my angels who are in outer space, in spaceships, according to Psalm chapter 68, verse 17, and the other 10 tribes of Israel that are over in the Middle East, as Yehuda and Navi are here in this country and on Portuguese, Haiti, and all over the Caribbean. I say Shalom, Lalatod, Etlakim, Akwa, Mayamni, Yod-Heh Wafe, Yushi Weshel, Yod-Heh Wafe. Ani mem Sofi, ani hey, Reshith Malek, ani hey, mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh Wafe. Bain Reshith, ani gam Yed Kates, Asher Hu, Asher Haya, Asher Bot, Hey Sharai, Kadol Sad mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh Wafe, Shabbat Kabod, Baruch Hashem Yod-Heh Wafe. Olam. As I welcome you back. We now have our power back on, the lights are back on. You have your study tools. And we were right in the middle of asking you to turn to the book called Revelation, chapter 11. You have that now? Okay, someone read that. One of mine angels, I have two here at the round table. We have Kabbalah, and we have Zephaniah. You're not going to see them. That's not what it said in Revelation. All 22 chapters said you hear the voice of an angel. You hear the voice of angels. Well, that's being fulfilled. You're going to hear the voice of angels. Do you have that? Would you read that, please?
Quote, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
This verse is the only verse among the 31,006 verses that are found in the King James Version Holy Bible, the 1611 edition, that has the term, I quote, two candlesticks, end quote, that are juxtaposed side by side. The way you see these two words here in this verse. Did you hear it? Did ye hear me? Some did not. Okay, I repeat. Pay attention. Hear this. I repeat. This verse that Kabaya just read, that's found in the book called Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 4, is the only verse in the entire King James Version 1611 Holy Bible that supposedly has 31,006 verses, that has this term, again I quote, two candlesticks, end quote. The way they are found juxtaposed side by side, the way you see these two words here. You got that?
Yes, sir.
And I realize that some may say, well, see there? He said that there are 31,106 verses. Or did I? I said 31,006 in some Bibles. However, there are 31,106 verses in the King James Version Holy Bible. Right? Or do you know that? There are 31,006 in some, and then some are missing 100 verses that they redacted, took out. And others. See, I said earlier that there are 20 Bibles that are connected to the Strong's Concordance. If you go online to Strong's Concordance and you look up a word, it's going to take you to the KJV. And then you click on the arrow next to that word, and then you'll find 19 of the Bibles that's joined with the King James Version Bible. You got that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I say, and I said first that there were 31,006 verses. But which Bible? We did away with the old heaven and the old earth 2 weeks ago. But for the sake of some, we're still referring to the King James Version 1611 edition. And I said that that version has 31,106 verses. Even though there are thousands of Bible scholars throughout history, and even ye as a Bible scholar, and you can go to Google. Go to Google, type in the address box, how many verses that there are in the King James Version Holy Bible. And what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get 31,102 verses. You hear it?
Yes, sir.
You can do that even while I'm speaking. Those who are here, those who are at home, you have an extra laptop, desktop, or a cellular phone, go to Google and type in the address box. How many verses are in the King James Version 1611 edition of the Holy Bible? It's going to take you to 31,102 verses in the 1611 King James Version Holy Bible. And then those who know that say, aha, we got you. We got him. We got him. He said 31,106. But Google is saying 31,102. Am I right?
You're right.
Someone did it.
That's what they say.
I still say 31,106. How are you going to go against the Bible? How are you going to go against what Google said? You think he's so smart and wise. He contradicting the truth. He's contradicting the Bible. But I say to all of those that strives on the reprobate minds of theologians of the world that read only 31,102 verses. See, your minds were blinded when it came to the reading of the book called Micah. I said, your minds were blinded when it came to the reading of the book called, quote, Micah, end quote. That means you found only 15 verses in chapter 5. You can go to it and see. You found, your eyes, your mind only found 15 verses in the book called Micah, chapter 5. And see, that's what you found. You didn't find what I hid in order to use as an allegory to raise 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, or 7 and 8. I said, you did not find the allegory that I raised 7 and 8. There are still the still waters of 0. You did not find. See, I hid 4 verses. I hid 4 verses in order to use as an allegory to raise 7 and 8. 7 and 8 that are the still waters of 0. See, 7 and 8 that are the still waters of 0. And I wrote a book of it. See, this crypto is truly the codex of verse 5 of Micah chapter 5 that mentions 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. But you don't know who they are. No one knew who they are or what that means. No one. And I saved it. The 7 shepherds, 8 principal men, would then, during this time, would be joined with 4 corners of the earth that were hidden in Micah chapter 8. Excuse me? I know he lost it now. I said that Micah chapter 5 only mentions 7 shepherds, 8 principal men, to then be joined with 4 corners of the earth that were hidden in Micah chapter 8. And I told people for years, they only had 7 chapters of Micah. I brought chapter 8 with me. And Mount Og, Yodewave, who many still call Yahweh ben Yahweh, he gave this entire planet a hint. He gave this entire planet a hint to this revelation. When he read Amos chapter 5 and lesson number 5 in care of his series of Our True History, the World's Best Kept Secret, you are not a nigger. Now, if you go online, you'll see all 5. You can find all 5 of that yellow book series from lessons number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can go online and go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube and you can type in Yahweh ben Yahweh, lesson number 5. And up pops that video recording. And when you listen, see, don't listen. You're going to miss it if you listen. If you hear that video, Mount Og read, he was reading from Amos chapter 5. Right? But he mentions Micah. He was quoting and reading from Amos chapter 5. But then he went on and said, that's not what Micah chapter 5, verses 18 to 19 says. And all of those guards in the prison, the warden, all those who read his books, to make sure that he wasn't writing any messages to get someone to come in and help him escape. They had to screen all his books and his videos to make sure he was reaching out to a group of people to come and get him, rescue him out of Lewisburg Penitentiary. So he recorded in codex and in midrash and cryptically to only one being in existence other than him who would be able to decode and hear what he said, decipher it, and then share it with the others who are walking in darkness. And he mentioned the one who would do that when he said Mika. Go ahead, go to YouTube, after this video, tomorrow, Friday, when you get I think it's like an hour long or so. Go to Google or YouTube. Go to YouTube, it's a video. Go to YouTube, type in Yahweh ben Yahweh, lesson number 5 of the Yellow Book, Our True History. It's going to take you to it. Get a headphone, earplugs, cut off all the electronic devices in the house, send the children out to play, turn off the television, and hear the video. And you're going to hear my Av, your Av who's around me, Yehuda. You're going to hear him read a quote from Amos chapter 5, verses 18 to 19. But he's going to mention Mika as a message of who he is sending the message to, because no one would be able to share with you and reveal what he was saying except Mika. Now let me see if I can find Mika. Let me see if I can find Mika. And here's what he said, Mika said in Mika chapter 5, verses 18 to 19, I quote, "Woe unto you that desire." Now see what I'm going to do. Let me go back. You turn to Amos chapter 5. All right, you turn to Amos chapter 5. And I'm going to read what he said in Micah chapter 5. Verses 18 and 19. And if you look in your King James Version Bible and turn to the book called Micah, you're only going to find 15 verses. What happened to the other 4 that are signified as the 4 corners of the earth? But you don't know that. That's symbolic. That's crypto. You got Amos chapter 5?
Yes, sir.
Verse 18, quote, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yodewave. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yodewave is darkness and not light." That's why my Ab came over and turned off the light. Because the day of the Lord Yodewave is darkness. So what he do? He put me in darkness and not light. For you, not ye, for you who refuse to come. And what is it of verse 19 says, I continue, "As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him," end quote. You don't have no idea what that means. I challenge you, all you who want to be me, all you who are humbling yourself to the Mahdi in your group, even you in the Middle East, whether it be Hebrew, Hebraic, Arabic, what other language is there that you're reading, I challenge you to explain that to me. Come to me. You, me, come to me and show me in your reprobate mind what it means and what my Abba said. He quoted it and then he said, that's not what Micah said. Micah chapter 5, verse 18 to 19. Go listen to the video.
That's exactly what he said.
That's 4 extra verses that was hidden, that was not what Amos was saying, but what Micah hid. See, that's 4 extra verses. No, when you hear it, I'm gonna tell you right now, no. I'm gonna tell you right now, no. Yahweh ben Yahweh did not make a mistake. I'm going to tell you right now, before you listen to it or hear it, no, mine are who you know as Yahweh ben Yahweh, he did not make a mistake. What does it look like God, the mighty God, making a mistake? As if he made a mistake when he created the moon. He made a mistake when he created all those stars that you cannot even see. He made a mistake when he created a planet 6 times the size of the Earth. This planet. He made a mistake. He made a mistake when he made the snow, the rain, the hail, tornadoes, mudslides, fire. He made a mistake when he made summer, spring, winter, fall. He made a mistake. So he's going to make a mistake and say, that's not what Micah said in Micah chapter 5, verse 18 to 19. And if you think that's bad, how about turn to the book called Milcah? You're going to hear that too. Warden, it's too late, Warden. I wonder if the warden's still there. Too late, guards in Lewisburg Penitentiary. It's too late. They got the wrong one. You got the wrong one. I sat right in front of him. When that man comes, and you're looking at that man, they had no idea. And they just shouted and stood up and clapped and whoa, screaming, whoa, look at that man. Mama, here come that man. Show me what that means. I repeat, I'm going to give him another try. And I read verse 19 again. You read Amos chapter 5, verse 19. I read Micah chapter 5, verse 19. That says, I quote, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him, end quote. There's 4 extra verses that were already added to the already 31,102. See, that's 4 extra verses that were already added to the 31,102 verses that were preserved for the 2 candlesticks that were made flesh to become the words of the blessed and only potentate, who hid 4 extra verses in Micah chapter 5 that was sealed to be loosed tonight. Tonight, don't you hear? I said, are you looking at me like that? I said, when you go to Micah chapter 5 and verse 15, how can I read Micah chapter 5 and verse 19? Because those 4 extra verses were preserved for the 2 candlesticks that were made flesh to become the words of the blessed and only potentate, who hid 4 extra verses in Micah chapter 5 that were sealed to be loosed tonight. Why? Because the Assyrian has now treaded in our palaces that were sealed under the name, quote, Lebanon, end quote.
Wow. About Lebanon.
And my soul is the lion that men are fleeing from. My soul, Micah, I am the lion whom my people are fleeing from, the men. And as these men of Judah flee from me, I still have mercy to go search for my sheep that went backward for over 5,000 years in darkness and slept in darkness. And that will explain verse 18 that reads again, I quote, woe unto you that desire the day of Yudawavhe. To what end is it for you? The day of Yudawavhe is darkness and not light, end quote. Why? Because these are they whom my soul left in the law, L-A-W, which is full of light. But then they fell into darkness. Needless to say, however, I found them, even in the dark, as the lights just went out. I found them in the dark. But as I found them going backward and walking in total darkness backward of the law. Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
I said when I found them I found them walking backward, in total darkness, walking backward from the law, LAW, which means I found them walking in the wall, backward, WAL, with only one L. They're missing the other L, Elohim.
Wow.
So I found them walking in the backward and the WL as they put their hand on the wall. Spelled backward, which is half of the Walmart. See, wall is half of Walmart. I even found some sleeping in Walmart. Well, I found some sheep in Walmart too. You were with me.
Yes, indeed.
Needless to say, when I came after a few of my sheep, a bear met him. B-E-A-R. Met him. Is that what it says?
Yes, sir.
What bear? First thing came to your mind was, ooh, this great grizzly bear. Ooh. 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 They run from the lion. See, when they run from the lion and they go in the house, here comes this bear. Ooh. It's not a bear. That's not the bear that you think. See, when I release this, some going to grab it and steal it and take it with the congregation and say, I'm the Messiah. I'm the Lion of Judah. I'm the one who can decipher this. That's why I left record that they're going to come before me. Thieves and robbers.
Thieves and robbers.
Come before me. Come in their own name that they will receive. But I come in my name, they don't receive me. My name is the only name like it in existence. I am the only Mem, Yod, Kaf, Yod, Het, Waf, in existence, ever was. The same one who they slew and hanged on the tree over 2,023 years ago. Same one. Different body, same soul. Let me prove it. This bear, B-E-A-R, as you read it in English, is three things. Three. One, this bear, B-E-A-R, is a prophetic cryptogram that came in the form of a message from Yuliwafe to Mika while in prison for something to take place after being released on September 26, 2001. And after his ascension, the ascension of Yuliwafe on May 7, 2007. I mean, it's a prophetic cryptogram. Two, this bear, B-E-A-R, is also a homophone for bear, B-A-R-E. That means nakedness. This means that when my soul comes looking in the house of Yuliwafe in search for the chosen of Yuliwafe, I, E-Y-E, who is also being referred to as him in verse 19, will not find anyone with holy garments on their bodies, but instead Western wear of nakedness. I will find the holy bodies of the children of Yuliwafe naked and or bare that met me. Just like I was found naked by Ab Yuliwafe in Micah chapter 1 and verse 8. Turn to it. I went stripped and naked, and so are those who were with me, stripped and naked. And when you go stripped and naked, you become bare that met him. Micah chapter 1, verse 8, I'm going to read that. Because I'm doing part of that right now. I'm willing and I'm willing like the dragons, mourning, right now. Therefore, I quote, therefore I will wail and howl. I will go stripped and naked, also known as bare, B-A-A-R. I will make a wailing like the dragons, like I'm doing right now, and mourning as the owls of wisdom, as I'm doing also right now for my people. End quote. Thereby, Judah is bare naked today that my soul met in the house of Yuliwafe as they came looking for the lion. And finally, 3. This bear is a fig of the fig tree. I said this bear is a fig of the fig tree. In other words, The Hebrew word for bear is nasa. Nasa. There's missing an S and a U, which is the same as Nassau of the Bahamas. I said this bear came from the Hebrew word nasa, spelled from right to left, nun, sin, aleph. Nasa. And here's what it means. It means to desire and to long for, end quote. This means that my soul in the last days will desire to be with Yehuda, the first ripe fruit, and I will long for Judah and Jacob to come, just as I promised in Micah chapter 7, verse 1. Now you got to turn to that. Micah chapter 7, verse 1. I said the Hebrew word nasa, spelled from right to left in Hebrew, 3 Hebraic characters, nun, sin, aleph. It means to desire and to long for. And this fulfills Micah chapter 7, verse 1, as I said, quote, woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the great gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. Why? Because men seek the lion and they don't find him. But they met a bear. The bear met him. Why? Because my soul desired the first ripe fruit, end quote. The fig of the fig tree. The bear. See, this first ripe fruit is a fig that was created again from the Hebrew word known as nasa. Nun, sin, aleph. That means, again, to desire and long for. Reference, Strong's, H. 5375. Make a note. Strong's Concordance, reference H. 5375. 5375. Now, when you look this word up during your study, then you will also see that this Hebrew word is also a fig. You're going to look in your concordance, you're going to have F-I-G, period, which is the abbreviation for figurative. Look and see for yourself. This means that as I look on the wall for Judah, which is law backwards, when I look for Judah to be obeying the law, I'm not going to find Judah obeying the law, L-A-W. So I'm going to find them on W-A-L, the wall. So when I look for Judah on the wall, or when I went into the house for Yehuda and leaned my hand on the wall, W-A-L-L, or L-A-W, law backwards, then it was a serpent that bit him. What serpent? The false teachings and preachings of the false religions and false pastors and clergies of the world that were being fed to my people. And I am this him. Reference Micah chapter 7, verse 1. And reference, quote, Yahweh be Yahweh, lesson number 5 of Outro History, the world's best kept secret. You can play the tape and hear it. We don't have that in our agenda for tonight for me to do it for you. Do it yourself. Study to show yourself approved.
Yes, sir.
Nevertheless, I am also the creator of the 2 candlesticks. You got that? I am the creator of the 2 candlesticks that you're reading. Only one verse I just showed you. Revelation chapter 11, verse 4, the only place. That means I have already revealed the 2 olive trees. You want to know why I have on a green shirt tonight with the white? Represents the olive trees, green, life. That's Mem and Mem Sophie, the last, the first and the last. But I did not reveal last week these 2 candlesticks in Revelation chapter 11, verse 4, did I? Did I reveal them last week?
No, sir.
No. Not to my knowledge, I did not.
No, sir.
So I got to do it this week. And I'm the only soul that was promised by Yahweh that would come, right? That is, after being sent by Yahweh to loose the mystery of all the Revelation, all 22 chapters, all 22 of them, and 404 verses. I would be the only one to do that. Mount Ab did not do that when he was here with us. In other words, if Yahweh did not send me, then I would not have come to loose the seals of the book. And you have been reading the King James Version Holy Bibles, especially the book called Revelation, from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 22. And that's in 1611. Now I'm speaking to the Gentiles, which was a little over 1,615 years after the terrestrial body of the Christ was slew and hanged on a tree, according to Acts chapter 5, verse 30. Make a note and read that. With no such thing as no black man being nailed to no cross. Mm-hmm. The only cross that my black people saw in this country was burning in their front yard. Mm-hmm. Burning. That means that the Christ was hung on a tree just like they hung my people in trees in this land. So get that lie out of your mind. There ain't no white boy was nailed to no cross. Read Acts chapter 5, verse 30, and then read the witnesses were there too, in chapter 10 and verse 31. Now, with that said, I am going to loose the mystery of the two candlesticks tonight. Keeping in mind that two, T-W-O, you got it? Not T-O-O or T-O. But this two, T-W-O, is a hieroglyphic of three English letters. Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know where they get the idea of two numbers, the numbers. I said two, T-W-O, is truly a hieroglyphic of three English letters, which are T-W-O. You got it? Now, for those who are taking notes, this T-W-O stands for, and I quote, the world of. You got it? T-H-E, the world, W-O-R-L-D, of, O-F. That's the two. And when you add witnesses to this hieroglyphic, then you have the world of witnesses that belongs to Yahweh that's found in Isaiah chapter 43. Turn to it. The world of witnesses that they thought was two, T-W-O. Don't make me laugh. You should have known something was wrong with that right away. Why would Yahweh send two witnesses? They'd be conflicting one another. You want to know which one is which one is who. Who should we listen to? There's two of y'all. Y'all twins with. I mean, Amos said one thing and then Micah said another thing. Who should we listen to?
Not the God of confusion.
Why would Yahweh send or come back in a bald-headed man's body? And then here's Micah. Micah still have his hair, although I have a head wrap, but I have people know I have hair under my head wrap.
Yes, sir.
Micah have hair, but then he got bald head. I mean, which one? Who we listen to? Who do we hear? These two witnesses are hieroglyphics. T-W-O, the world of witnesses that belong to Yahweh. Read that, Isaiah chapter 43, read verse 10, please.
Ye are my witnesses.
See, who?
Ye are my witnesses.
Say who?
Said Yod-Heh Wavet.
Mm-hmm.
And
How many witnesses is that?
Oh.
It didn't say how many.
Mm-hmm.
I just told you. It's a whole world, the whole world of Yushi, rest out of Yahweh. The whole world of Israel are the witnesses of Yahweh. I read, and what else?
And my servant, whom I have chosen.
How many servants? I see one.
Single.
One, servant. That what?
That ye may know and believe me
Uh-huh.
and understand that I am he.
Right.
Before me
Mm-hmm.
there was no Elohim formed, neither shall there be after me.
Period. Now we went over that several weeks before, and we went over this again and again and again. We're not going to do it tonight. Again. Find the tapes, find the recordings. Either pre-sessions, telestudies we had. Find it on your own, and you can get the concept of this.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, I'm going to make an emphasis here that all of my witnesses are here with my soul, here on this planet with us. Even as mine Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh was here with us in the flesh for 72 years. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Nevertheless, and for the sake of this recording, because this is being recorded, together, we are still going to go back now. I know we were cut off. Some have just joined us. Are we still being seen on Facebook? Okay. So with that said and confirmed, we are welcoming every one of you and ye to our end gathering, END gathering. And this one's being numbered as 18.
Mm-hmm.
18, that's correct?
That's correct.
That's 2 9s or 3 6s that we are presenting to this planet on the first day of our week. And we have just completed the 7th day of our solar week that was observed as our Shabbat here on the East Coast. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this day is also known as the 29th day of the 5th month. Did you know that?
Correct.
Correct, right? The 29th day of the 5th month of our solar year, 6023. Don't make a mistake now. This is not May 29th. This is the 29th day of our 5th month of our solar calendar, 6023. Notwithstanding, however, this day is also known by their Gregorian calendar as Wednesday in the evening, the 5th day of August, 2020. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, except for in Lebanon. They are now looking at August 6th, Thursday. Still looking for bodies. And rubble. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Nevertheless, this day, the year and evening is also being recorded as the 13th year since the mighty Elohim, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, ascended back up into heaven and to himself, who is also the very same one whom many of my people of Judah are still calling to this day. Quote, Yahweh ben Yahweh, end quote. The same one whom I testified of last week, last month, last year, and the last world, as the one who planted the fig tree. He's the one who planted the fig tree. Now, this week, with that said now, for the sake of recording, this week, as promised tonight, I'm going to continue to testify of him as he has now instructed and commanded me, my soul, to disclose the 2 candlesticks and how these 2 candlesticks are responsible for more of what is happening today in care of the fulfillment of all the prophecies that were originally handwritten by the Son of the true and only living Elohim, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Most, in particular, is found and recorded in a book called Matthew in chapter 24. In fact, in Matthew chapter 24 and all 51 verses, as well as a book called Revelation, all 22 chapters and 404 verses. And especially the book called Zechariah, all 14 chapters. And this will explain more of the subject for tonight. The book called Zechariah, chapter 11 in particular. Why chapter 11? You should wonder, why chapter 11, Mika Yahweh, of Zechariah?
Yes.
Here's the answer. Because this chapter is the one that beholds those two candlesticks of Revelation. You got that? I said, chapter 11 of the book called Zechariah is the chapter and the book that beholds the two candlesticks of Revelation. And these two candlesticks are the same two candlesticks that were already standing. They were already standing before the God or the Elohim of the earth took his own stand. Or should I say, before he stood up. And so does 33 other books of the King James Version Holy Bible that beholds the very same two candlesticks. How did you know that? I said there are 33 other books of the King James Version Holy Bible that beholds the very same two candlesticks.
Wow.
And then there's a book called Micah, standing right in the midst of the 66 books in total of them all. And so does. As Micah, the book called Micah is numbered as 33 from Genesis, that many are still calling Genesis. No J in Hebrew.
Don't
And that beholds, the book called Micah only beholds 7 chapters. Now, these 7 chapters of the book called Micah are the same as the 7 candlesticks of Revelation. Even as only 34 books of the 66 in total of the King James Version of the Bible's book bears 11 chapters, 11 perfect chapters. In other words, there are 34 books in total in the King James Version Holy Bible that has at least 11 chapters.
Wow.
And Micah is found right in the middle of them all. And that will explain the mystery of Revelation chapter 1 and verse what? Read it. Go to verse 11. Verse 13. Go to Revelation chapter 1 and read verse 13.
Revelation
113.
Yeah, Revelation chapter 1, read verse 13. So 13 represents Mem.
Yes, sir.
Quote,
Uh-huh.
and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot,
Uh-huh.
and a girt about the paps, with a golden girdle.
Praise the Lord.
Praise
And as she started reading, I don't know if they heard it, a thunderclap. Boom. See, they don't comprehend that because they're trying to see me. These eyes are trying to see me on Facebook's live stream or video. And those who just have the phone, they're trying to hear my voice on our conference line. See, what they cannot witness is what you witnessed being here with me.
Right. Right.
They did not witness me go out on the bay between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock one morning, 3 days before the hurricane came here. So we're headed this way. They did not see me hold my hand out in the direction of where the storm was coming. I have 2 angels who saw that here with me right now. They saw me hold my hand out with my mind speaking to my Ab as he hovered above us, as we saw his light moving above us on the bay of Biscayne Bay of Miami, Florida. And as I held my hand out, I'm speaking to my Ab, and my mental telepathy, the power of my mind. As I held it out for about 10 seconds, 11 seconds, I moved my hand this way. toward the north, from the south to the north. That was one night. The second night in a row, I stood on my sidewalk in front of this house. As my Ob told me to come outside, that he wanted to see me. As we came out, I took another angel with me, and he saw it.
Yes, sir. Bear with
And this light was extra close to the earth. It was his ship, extra close. And he saw me stand there with my mental telepathy again, looking up. After a while, I put my hand on his chest, and he stood next to me. I said, "Don't say nothing." And I took my hand again, as my hand was on his chest. The same direction of storm. 2 days down away from the coast, as predicted. As predicted, the hurricane's cone was coming directly in the middle of Florida to come right up through Miami. You can go back and look at stuff for yourself in Google. You can look for yourself, meteorologist code. That code was projected to come right in the middle of Florida, come right through downtown Miami, and then go head up north, right in the middle of Florida, all the way up to the north. And I took my right hand once again, held it for 11 seconds, communicate with my arm, and then I moved it again to go a straight line up the north Florida coast. The rest is evidence. Not only did the storm come to the spot in the point where I said stop, but it lost power. It became a tropical storm. And then, as it stopped, it came to a distance and went straight up the coast of Florida and didn't even touch one city on the east coast of Florida. It went straight up the Atlantic Ocean and went where I said I wanted to go. To South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. When you get to Washington, D.C., wave at Trump and keep going all the way up the coast. And I told you it was going to kill some people, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Even those who had the old Jersey, it got New Jersey. And trees fell on people's houses. You just go online and look at it. Go online and see it. See, the angel just read Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. Mel, how did I get such power? See, they don't believe it's me. And if you want to get the mystery of that and the fulfillment, then you read Revelation chapter 11 verse 6 and then you'll know who it is. That's not the only one. I mean, I go on and on. As you're witnessing these events, these celestial phenomenal events.
Yes, sir.
Even as we got in the van today,
Yes.
I said, get in the van, it's going to rain.
Yes, sir.
And we got in the van, what happened? It started raining. And we were only going about 2 miles from here. And we got on 112 interstate. It was raining. And then one of my angels said, we're going to need an umbrella. What did I say? We're not going to need an umbrella when we get to Home Depot. Not going to need an umbrella. When we pulled in Home Depot's parking lot, it was sprinkling. But when we parked, and I turned off the engine, and we got out, the windshield was dry. Not one drop. We went out and said,
Bear witness.
is that true or not?
True.
Don't call me a liar. I am not a liar. I know a liar. I know you're a liar. But I'm not a liar. The revelation of this verse that she just read, Kabbalah, in Revelation chapter 1, verse 13, this revelation is 34 books of the King James Version Holy Bible, and the New King James Version Bible, and the NLT Bible, all having 34 books with 11 chapters. That's the mystery. And in the middle of them all, in the middle of all of them, is found a book called Micah. This is the only book with 7 chapters. Thus, making Micah the one in this verse who is the one likened to the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, no longer naked, no longer stripped and naked. And no matter how you count, from Genesis to Micah forward, even from Revelation backward to Nahum, there you will find the book called Micah right there at number 33 of the 66 books in total. Right? You did it. Okay. So why do you look at me so baffled? Now turn back to Revelation chapter 11 and read that verse once again. Read verse 4 once again. Revelation chapter 11, verse 4. Revelation chapter 11, verse 4.
Quote, These are the two olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Now, did I not go over the 2 olive trees last week? Remember, I went over the 2 olive trees. Then what are they truly? What are the 2 olive trees truly? I mean, now that I have disclosed what ye thought was the numeric 2, I just disclosed that. The TWO, remember? Right. Okay, so what are the 2 olive trees? They don't know. Some will say they know, but don't lie. They don't know. Well, the bad news is this 2, TWO, and olive, OLIVE, and trees, TREES, is truly a cryptic hieroglyphic that stands for, I quote, now get ready, you may want to write this. Here's what it means all together now. It means the witnesses of OF, the O of olive that symbolizes the shape of the planet, who now lives, LIVES, as trees, TREES. I'm going to repeat. I'm going to go slow. These 2 olive trees is not what you thought they are. They are hieroglyphics, these letters in English, the symbols. These 2, the 2 is the 2 TWO stands for the world of. You got that?
Yes, sir.
The O of olive stands for the symbol of the earth, that you're on the earth, the planet. And then you're left with the LIVE, that means live or live. It means live. You're live. You are live. And then the trees are symbolized as ye. Ye are the trees that you thought were 2 olive trees that are found in an olive tree orchard, like an olive tree grower who growing olives to sell to bars to make martinis with, and they put the olive in the glass of the martini. Or can ye not see that these trees are both ye and you? Okay, now I got to go prove it. Turn to Isaiah chapter 55. I got to prove it. Turn to Isaiah chapter 55 that they just named the most recent hurricane in Spanish after. Asiasis. That's Isaiah that destroyed several straits. And read beginning at verse 6.
The phone line is off.
The phone line's out. I don't know if I can go back. I'll try. It just went out? Been out for a while? They're going to just have to resort to the video.
Yeah, I gotta go to my feed.
I mean, I'll go back and try and find it because it's important. I would like to have this on an audio phone line so that I can download it.
As long as it's on Facebook, I can just download
You can
it. As long as it's just on Facebook.
okay then I'm okay, I'm back on the conference line. I'm going to mute the line again. This would be since Barak is in the house tonight. I'm going to say to you right now while you're here, this will be labeled as part 2 of ingathering number 18. It's going to come in 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're back on, you went to Isaiah chapter 55?
Yes, sir.
All right, read beginning at verse 6. You're going to read verse 6 through verses up to 13.
Yes, sir. Seek ye Yod-Heh
Say,
Waveh.
wait, seek who? Seek who?
Seek ye Yod-Heh Waveh.
Ye.
Yes, sir.
Seek ye, not you. You got it? Seek ye, not you. And ye must seek who?
Yod-Heh
Yod-Heh
Waveh.
Waveh. Why what?
While he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
See, they didn't do that. Some are not doing that. I'm trying to, just 1 second because the mute button don't seem to be working here on the conference line. So, let's see, I don't know if it's because it may be a malfunction now because of the lightning strike in the computer with our conference line. So those who are on, I'm going to ask them to mute the lines on your cell phone, with your cell phone. Okay, I think I got it now. You might have a part 3 now. We're going to get it right. It's all in control of our Yod-Heh Waveh. So now you just said in Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6, seek ye Yod-Heh Waveh while he may be found. And call what?
Call ye upon him while he is near.
That sounds like something that you should do. Right?
Yes, sir.
Sounds like an order or commandment. Read the next verse, please.
Let the wicked forsake his way,
Uh-huh.
and the unrighteous man his thoughts,
Uh-huh.
and let him return unto Yod-Heh Waveh,
That sounds like a commandment now. And what?
and he will have mercy upon him. And
Uh-huh.
to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon.
Why? For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yod-Heh Waveh. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, just like it's doing now, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. Shalom. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. End quote.
Trees got hands.
Now someone just got to tell me, how can trees clap their hands? And by the way, this chapter and verse was also in that same lesson number 5 that Yod-Heh Waveh sent to us. But you must tell me now, tell me, how in the world can trees clap their hands? In fact, Since when does a tree have hands? I'm going to read verse 13. Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. And it shall be to Yodewafe for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. End quote. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Now turn to the last book before Revelation. What's it called? They call it Jude.
Yehuda.
It was Yehuda. And read verses 9 through 12. I will let you do that. Turn to the book called Jude, verses 9 through. It only has one chapter.
Yes, sir.
Verses 9 through 12.
Quote,
Mm-hmm.
Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Elohim rebuke thee.
Yes. Verse 10, please.
But these speak evil of those things which they know not.
You got that? That's true. Who are they? But what?
But what they know naturally, as brute beasts.
Ooh.
And those things they corrupt themselves.
They do what?
They corrupt themselves.
They corrupt themselves. Verse 11. Woe unto them.
For they have gone in the way of Cain.
See? They went in the way of Cain. And then what?
And ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward.
And then what?
And perished in the gainsaying of Kor.
Yes. Verse 12.
These are spots in your feast of charity.
See, they're spots. They come to your feast and sit with you, but they be spots of charity. And what else? When they what?
When they feast with you,
What do they do?
feeding themselves without fear.
What are they also?
Clouds they are without water.
What? And what
Carried
happens to them?
about of wind.
Carried about of winds. And what else are they?
Trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead,
Twice dead.
plucked up by the roots.
Wow.
Wow.
Now you see trees here too. If you think that's something, turn to the book called Judges. Chapter 9. You mean you didn't know these trees are symbolic for ye and you who have gone the way of Cain. All you who go in the way of Cain. But ye who with me, you also trees. Judges chapter 9, read beginning at verse 8. Please, to verse 15.
The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them.
Wait, hold on. Now, how could that be? The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And what else?
And they said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us.
So you tell me now we're looking at talking trees. Go out in the backyard and put your ear to a tree and see if it's going to talk to you. Read verse 9, please.
But the olive tree said unto them,
What?
Should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor Elohim and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Read verse 10.
And the tree said to the fig tree,
What?
Come thou and reign over us.
Now they want the fig tree to reign over them. First they asked the olive tree. Now they want the fig tree. But what the fig tree said in verse 11?
But the fig tree said unto them,
I mean, we're talking about, we look at talking trees. What he said?
Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Read verse 12.
Then said the trees unto the vine.
Now they went and going to a vine, like with grapes. And said what?
Come thou and reign over us.
They're looking for anything to reign over them. Verse 13.
And the vine said unto them,
What?
Should I leave my wine, which cheereth Elohim and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Verse 14.
Then said all the trees.
Now all the trees got talking. We can't find nobody to rule over us. So what they finally went and done?
Come thou and reign over us.
To the who? To the bramble.
The bramble, yes.
And what the bramble said in verse 15?
And the bramble said unto the trees,
What?
If in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow.
What?
And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
Of who?
Lebanon.
You mean the same Lebanon that had a bomb of explosion yesterday? I mean, what is that? What does this mean? What does this mean what the bramble tree is saying? Which is a tree that's full of thorns and is firm at its roots. Or did you study bramble? I mean, what is this thorny and firm tree offering to all the trees if they anoint him as their president for a second term? Or do you comprehend now that these trees are symbolic for people?
Yes, sir.
Even Republican, the bramble, as well as for the children of Yotewafe, all 12 tribes. And see, my soul used these trees in a particular prophetic cryptogram that's connected to 2 olive trees and 2 candlesticks that were standing before my soul stood up for the children of that people. That's read in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. That's what it means by standing before the God of the earth. These trees were already standing as 2. I will explain in a minute. And see, that's the same as those 2 candlesticks that were preserved to solve the mystery to the cedars of Lebanon that you just read, that's connected to the bramble tree. But how? Who are the 2 candlesticks? And what are the 2 candlesticks doing in connection to this bramble tree that's conjoined and became a conjunction that's involving prophecy today? See, the two candlesticks are just that, sticks, and not candles. Sure, we would say candles. They are 2 candlesticks, not candles. That's why you don't see any candles burning in the back of me tonight. And they both symbolizes the Father, or the Ab, Yotewafe, and his son, Mem Yotewafe. That's who the 2 candlesticks are. Now go back to the book that we just read a moment ago called Isaiah chapter 43, and read verse 11. So you stopped at verse 10. Now read verse 11 again, as in 2 candlesticks. Get it? Verse 11, as in 2 candlesticks, as in 1 and 1, 1 and 1, or the Roman numeral 1 that resembles the uppercase letter I, E-Y-E. Two candlesticks. I didn't say about candles. Read verse 11 now, 1-1. It says, you beat it. You beat it with 1-1. Say it.
I, even I.
That's 1-1. That's 2 candlesticks.
Yes, sir.
Am who?
Am Yotewafe.
Uh-huh.
And beside me.
And see, me is right there as the other candlestick. Mem Yo. There is no Savior. This is your 2 candlesticks.
Wow. There they go.
And by facts and by truth, all 34 books in the King James Version Holy Bible that bears chapter 11 is referring to the two candlesticks that were sealed in Revelation chapter 11, verse 4, and are both beholding a fulfillment of prophecy of this end time. By facts and by truth, every verse in the King James Version Holy Bible that beholds this term again, I, even I, quote unquote, is referring to the two candlesticks that were sealed by my celestial Hebrew soul and now found read in English in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 4. I, even I, just like in Deuteronomy 32, 39. Every place where you read the Bible, I, even I, are the two candlesticks.
Wow.
Why else do you suppose that when I write, you saw me write, I uses two lowercase i's with a dot over them both, right?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because they are truly the symbolics of the two candlesticks. If I had used an uppercase I and lowercase I, you might have been able to figure that out. You're so wise. No. More than likely you would say, look, he make a mistake. Instead of erasing or deleting the one I, he got both I's there because you know he meant to put the capital I, now he got lowercase I. He forgot to delete the lowercase I. They're the two candlesticks symbolic. For example, hear this now. For example, on Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, an explosion rocked the cedars of Lebanon that you just read in Judges chapter 9. And at least 135 people were killed and counting, and 5,000 wounded and counting in that massive explosion that also shook Beirut. And that's according to a state-run media newspaper that reported that, site of Red Cross. And they also say that hundreds have been reported missing, raising fears that the death toll will rise, as I raised against them 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. They don't know what that meant. So I'm going to make it rise. 7 shepherds, 8 principal men. And that's what the Lebanon's health minister said earlier today, Wednesday. They also say that it is still unclear what exactly caused the explosion. That's because they don't believe in I, even I, or the trees, the bramble tree. In fact, it's also reported that Lebanon's prime minister said an investigation would focus on an estimated 2,750 metric tons of the explosive ammonium nitrate.
Wow.
That was stored at a nearby warehouse. Well, I know better, and so do ye. That explosion or bomb is part of the plenty prophecies that had been fulfilled these past 4 weeks. That involves these two candlesticks. These two candlesticks made that explosion.
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is rub the two sticks together.
It's a fire.
Yeah, create a fire.
That's right.
I said all you have to do is take these two candlesticks and rub them together and create a fire that you find in Ezekiel chapter 11. Actually, Zechariah chapter 11. So turn to it, and I'm going to show you. I'm not making it up.
Man, get him.
I'm not making it up. Take the two candlesticks, chapter 11, 1:1 of Zechariah.
Yes, sir.
And when you rub these two candlesticks together, you're going to get a fire that devoured the cedars of Lebanon, even at the door. Start at verse 1.
Open thy doors,
Who?
O Lebanon,
What? That what?
that the fire may devour thy cedars.
Let that soak in for a moment. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars of Lebanon. And who else is there in verse 2?
How,
Who?
fir tree,
Fir tree.
for
Why?
the cedar is fallen,
Look online and look at the buildings falling. Why?
because the mighty are spoiled.
Right. Read on.
How, O ye oaks of Bashan,
Why?
for the forest of the vintage is come down.
It has. Verse 3.
There's a voice of the howling of the shepherds.
There is.
For their glory is spoiled.
Uh-huh.
A voice of the roaring of the young lions.
Of young lions. I don't see that in. I read it accordingly. You have the in your Bible?
Of young lions. Excuse me.
Okay.
For the pride of Jordan is spoiled.
I just said that earlier in another chapter book, didn't I? In Isaiah? Read verse 4.
Thus said Yod-Heh-Waveh, my Elohim.
Feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty of the court of law, and they be acquitted. Even if he was just eating Skittles coming from the store and mind his own business. Even if his tail light was blown and he ran from you because you are a devil and you are acquitted and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them doing slavery, they say, blessed is the God of Israel, for I am a rich slave master, and their own shepherds pity them not. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, said Yod-Heh-Waveh, but lo, I will deliver the men, every one, into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king. And they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. And I will feed the flock of slaughter, even you, O poor of the flock. And I took unto me 2 staffs in the form of candlesticks. The one I called beauty, and the other I called bands. And I fed the flock. And these, and 3 shepherds, in verse 8, 3 shepherds of Judah also are cut off in 1 month. Are you hearing me? No, you're not. I said 3 shepherds also are cut off in 1 month. One that was with me. One that flew from the west to the east, only to him, to be with him.
Wow.
And one whom mine Ab left a message to me that would be the rod that Moshe had in his hand, that threw to the ground and turned into a serpent.
Whoa. Wow.
So what happened when I did that? And my soul slothed them. What does that mean? This loath them, my soul loathed them. That means it came from the Hebrew word known as gal, spelled from right to left, gimel, ayin, lamed. And it means to abhor, to loathe, be vilely cast away, to fall, to abhor, to be defiled, and to reject as a loathsome, and to show aversion to. Aversion. A-V-E-R-S-I-O-N, reference Strong's H 1602. You can find it for yourself. Strong's H 1602, 1602. And because I did that, their soul also abhorred me. In verse 9, then I said, I will not feed you. That dieth, let it die. You ain't got to come. Stay up there in Texas. Stay on out there in pork and bean. Stay on out there in hell. Stay on out there on 51st Street. That dieth, let it die. And that is to be cut off, let it be cut off. And let the rest eat every one the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even beauty, and cut it asunder, that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people. And as it was broken in that day, and so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of Yodewaphe. They knew that it was the word of Yodewaphe speaking to them in the flesh that was made flesh. And I said to them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. You have no idea what that means. In verse 13, and Yodewaphe said unto me, Mem Yo, cast it into the potter, a goodly price, that I was prized out of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of Yodewaphe right here. So where's this silver? This silver is from the Hebrew word known as kasaf. Kasaf. And it means, it's spelled kaf, smack, fe. Fe Sophie. And it means to long for, to yearn for, and long after. Reference, Strong's, H, 3700. And that's a primitive root word that means to become pale. See, to become pale, from black to silver.
Wow.
That is, by implication, to pine after, also to fear, and have desire, and to be greedy, and to long, and to soar. That's the silver. Now, the 30 pieces, the 30 represents how many days there are in one of our months.
Wow.
30 days. That means they have 30 days to get their act together. And this means that, as Yodewaphe said to me, to cast it unto the potter, a goodly price, that I was priced, I was prized out of them. See, I was prized out of them. That means they wanted to use me as a prize. I became a target. This means that for 30 days, they will long for me. They will yearn for another. They will long for me, they will yearn for another, and long after me and another. Insomuch until they, those three, will become pale from black to silver, by implication, to pine after the company of us all. Also to fear Yodewaphe and me until he returns, as one will be painted after another one that will not come back, even as he have desired to come, one in particular, and to be greedy and to long and to soar as he's doing right now. But I have no choice for them. They have to choose for themselves. I have no choice for them. They have to choose themselves to be cast them to the potter. And that comes from the word yassar. This word potter comes from the Hebrew word yassar, reference H 3335. And what does it mean? It means to form, fashion, frame. It means of human activity. It means of divinity, of divine activity, of creation. It means to be preordained, as I preordained him, to be formed, to be created, and to be predetermined. I already ordained him. I formed him. I made him. All in the house of Yodewaphe. That's verse 13. All of that's found hidden in verse 13. 13 as in Mem. Verse 14 as in Nun says, then I cut asunder my other staff. I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. You can't be Judah and Israel. No brotherhood like that. Either Yehuda, or Yehuda. Either you're Judah or Jacob or Yehuda Yahweh or Yishua Yahweh. So I got to break the brotherhood up. Don't call me Ark if you're not following my Ark. And Yehoshua said unto me, take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd. A foolish shepherd. For, lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off. Neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor fear that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat, and tear their claws in pieces. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm. I said, woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock and go live elsewhere, to another place. For the sword shall come upon his arm, even his right arm, where his hand is, as a sword would cut the hand to cause surgery, and upon his right eye, as he look at the wrong thing with his right eye, and call that my love, my baby. His arm shall be clean, dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. He will not even be seeing me no more. He will not even see me, because someone came and darkened his eye from seeing me. Nevertheless, I pray that this message gets to them all. As I read now, and I close tonight with Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2. With that said, that's the two candlesticks that was hidden in Zechariah chapter 11, that dealt with the same time in 1 month, Lebanon and 3 others in 1 month. The fire of Lebanon. That could not be fulfilled until the fire of Lebanon was seen. Then I reveal it to you of the 3 in 1 month. So with that said, in Revelation chapter 2, beginning at verse 4, I say to all of those who are guilty of this, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee. Why? Because thou hast left thy first love. You left thy first love, and now you think you love someone else. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works that I have given you to do. I don't need you. I can do the work myself. But do the first works that I gave you, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate, which are the Christians, in all different religions. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of Yehoshua is now saying unto the nations of Yehoshua. And to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life that has hands, which is in the midst of the paradise of Yehoshua, right in the middle of the 33rd book, right in the middle of them all. And to the angel of the nation of Smyrna, write. That's more of her, Smyrna, Smarty, right. These things saith the first and the last. That's me. The first and Mem and Mem Sophie, which was dead and is now alive. Alive. See, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, that you're looking for a stimulus check, that you're now unemployed because of the pandemic, that you're on food stamps and welfare, HUD, that you go back to get HUD, to come back to live in HUD from another city. I know that. And I tried to tell you before you leave, thou art rich, but you refuse to hear me. And I also know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, Yehuda, and are not, but are the sin of God, of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Follow me, take your cross and follow me.
That's right.
My burden is light. Behold, the devil, dressed in a uniform with a badge and a gun, shall cast some of you into prison, that they might be tried, and ye may be tried. But you who stay with me won't be cast into prison. You will be cast into prison. You shall have tribulation 10 days. But those who are not with me and are cast into prison because you won't come to Miami, then my advice to you would be faithful unto death. And I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith, of Yudawaphe saith to the nation, of Yudawaphe. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And to all of my saints and angels of the nation of Yudawaphe, even those who are in the parapod of the United States, and the most gross part, these things saith me, that hath the sharp sword of two edges in my tongue. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest right now, even where Satan's seat is in Washington District of Columbia. And thou holdest fast my name, Mem Yod Kaviruafe, even if you sit in Washington, D.C., where Satan's seat is. It has not denied my faith. Even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, which was another name for my servant who never left, allegory, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth today. But I have a few things against thee. Why? Because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam. You still follow other religions and follow other gods who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Yeshua Yahweh, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication by putting tattoos all over your body and frying your hair, your woolly hair that went over last week, and doing things that you ought not to do, going out partying and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage, and going to bars and lounges. So, had thou also them that hold the doctrine of Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. Repent. I repeat, repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, you only need one. All you need is one ear to hear. Then let him hear, and her. Let him hear what the Spirit of Yudawaphe said to the nations, all 12 nations of Yudawaphe, all 12 tribes. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, as I give some tonight. And I will give him a white stone, clean and pure and hard, that no one can take out of you. And in that stone a new name written, which no man knoweth saving he that received it, and I gave it. Into the verse 17. I gave that name to those who received it. And with that said, that's all I got to say. That's all the message I have to say tonight to those who received it. So I'm going to say at this time, told out to those who joined us. And if it's my Allah's will, if it's his will, even with a thunderclap. Huh. We'll see you next Wednesday. Or we won't see you next Wednesday. We may be in the dark. Praise the Lord. That said, Shalom Aleichem to my people only of Yudamafe. Nation of Yudamafe. And Shalom Aleichem again. Lanato, Anakia Ha to all my people.
Anakia ha.
Anakia Ha.